Hello everyone. Today we are going to simplify Azure FS Logix. Yes, this is our today's topic, Azure FS Logix, which is used in Azure AVD. So we are just trying to understand the concept for Azure FS Logic so that we can use that in a better way and understand what it is. So Azure AVD, we know Azure AVD is a VDI solution and it is a PaaS service, which means we are not in control of everything, but a lot of things would be taken care by Microsoft because of shared service model. And in PaaS, a lot more will be taken care by Microsoft. We only need to take care of our session host and other aspects of it. For example, this is our control plane. Let me call it control plane, which has all those web server, broker, gateway, and everything maintained by Microsoft. And we have session host at the back end, our VMs, which were be taken care by us. So PaaS service. Okay, so these are our session host, and this entire thing is AVD, right? This is Azure AVD. Azure AVD. Now, it's a VDI solution. We understand that. So what that means, simply users sitting somewhere will access what? They can access desktop, they can access remote apps, right? It's a virtualization service for desktop virtualization or remote app virtualization. So they will access their desktop that they have access to or allowed to access. The request will go to the control plane, and from control plane it will go to one of the session host, right? We are not learning networking in this piece. We are only learning the FS logic. So stay with me and try to grab the concept of FS logics, what it is, why it is in the picture. So this is a very quick summary of Azure AVD. Now, what is FS Logic? Well, it is a technology which will help you manage certain aspects of Azure AVD. And what are those aspects? Let's try to understand that. The very first thing is profile management, which includes user profile and office office application profiles, right? Like your Teams, your Outlook, office profiles. It will also help you in application masking. It will also help in the cloud cache. It provides that service, not help, but it provides cloud caching, which is a great feature of FS Logics. And we will try to understand these features one by one. First, we will try to understand the reasoning. We'll try to understand the concept behind it and why we use it. And there is one more thing. Because of these features, we can also use one more thing here, which is Java version control, which means if we have multiple versions of Java with the help of FS Logics, we can utilize it on a single host. Or we'll try to understand each one of these features of FS Logics one by one, and we'll go in detail in our upcoming videos. So these are the things which are provided by the FS Logics. So what is profile management? Let's understand this piece first. So as you see, the user sitting here trying to access the session host or remote desktop that he has access to, and it landed on session host, let's call it VM1. And once the work is over, he or she went home and tried to access the session host again in the morning. What happened? The request will come. Okay, this is the another day request, and it might land it to a different session host, right? It could be VM3. But when it landed on VM1, there was one profile got created for for this user, right? And now this profile is not here. Here it will create another profile, new profile, let's call it. And all the data which is there in this profile is lost. And we don't want that. There are so many other services in the market to resolve this challenge, but no one does better than FS Logix. That's why profile management we talked about. So these profiles that user has, all those desktop documents, downloads, needs to be managed because nobody wants to lose the data next day when they are landed to a different session host, right? So how exactly it take care of this piece? Well, it's it simply goes, because that's how it works. It creates profile containers like this. Okay, and to create profile containers we need to have storage, and we have two options like Azure File Share or NetApp. So let's call it File Share. It could be Azure File Share, NetApp, or you can create the cluster of your virtual machine and utilize that. There would be IaaS kind of service, totally dependent on your administration and other stuff. But that's the reason like file share NetApp is the best possible solution. Now on the file share, it will create profile containers. And these profile containers will be in the form of VHD or VHDX, means as a disk. So when a user will come, okay, when a user will try to access or log in and it lands, let's suppose here, what happens during the login time? This VHD disk of this user's particular profile will be attached or mounted on this session host. And all that profile data would be stored here. Now, next day, if the user comes and lends to a different session host, let's suppose this one, then the same profile, because when it logged off, this profile is here, right? It mounted there. Next day it mounted here. So where the user is getting logged in, the profile will mount there as a VHD and VHD disk, and it is stored in Azure File Share, right? This kind of profile management is done by FS Logix. See the magic? Yeah. Now, the other piece was the office profile. Similarly, we have containers for the office profiles. Usually we have two containers, one for the user profile, another one is for the office containers. Why? Because office data is the cache data which can easily be downloaded from the cloud because all those applications are there. So this is what the profile management is. Okay, now the second part is we have done with the office profile, with the user profile. Now app masking. Now let's open another sheet and try to work on it for app masking. Okay, let's understand the application masking. This is the topic that we are trying to understand. The second feature of FS Logix. Now, what is app masking? Let's understand the situation. Let's suppose you have users. Let's suppose you have two department. One is this, another one is this. Okay. This is your, let's suppose, HR department. This is a HR users. And here we have our finance users, let's suppose. Now, HR users needs to access different sets of application. Let's suppose these are the application that HR users will access, and these are the applications which finance user will access. Okay, these are some applications. These are these, let's say these are three application here, three applications here. These are the three apps HR user will access, these will access, and we have these three apps which is only meant for three apps which are only meant for the finance user. Okay, these finance user will access this, and these finance user don't want to have access for this. Okay, same goes with the HR user. They should not have access to this, right? So isolation is there. So the question is, for such kind of setup, how many images you need, right? You must be thinking we need two images, one for this and another one for the finance. But app masking is something which will help you manage all these things in a single, and you can have a single host pool. So single image can have both these applications, and you have FS logic rule sets by which you can hide applications on the basis of users, groups, workstation computers like this. And when this user will log in to its desktop, right, then these apps are hidden for him. These apps are hidden for him. When it will try to access these applications just for fun, these would be hidden. Finance user cannot see these apps. Why? Because there is a rule defined through FS logics. Same applies for the HR users. So that's what the app masking is. FS logic app masking allows administration or administrators to control application visibility, control app visibility. Okay, visibility without having to create multiple desktop images or configuration, right? When we can control app visibility, so no need to create multiple images or desktop images, right? And that's what the app masking is. Now let's see the another feature which was cloud caching, right? So let me just put it, let me open another one. We're just trying to understand the concept first. We may go into deep in our upcoming videos. So cloud cache. So what is cloud cache? Now, let's go back to the old diagram of ours, this one. Now, if user try to access this session, okay, any of the session, this user is trying to access any of the session from here and here. Now, this profile will connect here. Now, what happens if this goes down? So all the profile data would be lost, right? So for such kind of situations, we have cloud cache in picture, cloud cache. So what it does a wonderful thing in a very efficient manner, which is it will allow you to store your profile or your office containers in multiple locations. Okay, multiple locations for profile. And also it will store the data locally as cache. So let's go back to the similar the previous situation. If this goes down, we may have data as a locally as cached, or it will divert to the secondary profile, because it we can hold multiple profile location, secondary profile. So you can understand we can easily use this for the BCDR solutions, right? So that is cloud cache. So this will help us to manage user data more efficiently. It stores user profile, which includes settings, files, or other personalized data in multiple locations to ensure that data is always available, even if one location fails. Additionally, it keeps a copy of most frequently accessed data locally on the virtual desktop itself to improve speed and performance. So this is another feature of FS Logix. Now, there was one more thing that we forgot to talk about. It's nothing much. It is just like the app masking. We have this Java control we mentioned, Java version control. Okay. So what it is? We first need to understand this what it is. So let's understand this with this particular example. Let's suppose an organization might have a legacy application that require an older version of Java and newer application that require the latest version. So here under app masking and use this example. Now let's suppose this is new application, this is old application. Okay. And here we have old Java, or here we have new version of the Java. Okay. Now FS Logix Java version control enables these applications to coexist in the same virtual desktop without the risk of compatibility issues or the need for multiple desktop images, just like these multiple applications. So we can have these in a same desktop images. So this is what the Java version control in a nutshell, in a simple, basic conceptual way. This is what the concept is. Now, let's try to conclude the video while talking about some importance or significant benefits of utilizing FS Logix as a tool for the profile management, for the app masking, for the Java version control, and for the cloud cache. So let's try to put down all those wonderful things here. Okay, so the very first thing is it will help us improve the login times. So we will get improved login times. This is one of the benefits. Why? Because these are the profile containers which are mounted on the session host and acting as an locally disk attached. So FS Logic reduces login times by using these profile containers, which are VHD or VHDX files that are mounted at login. Instead of copying profile files or profile data over the network to different location or different network location. So it will improve the login times. We can understand this because in a traditional VDI solutions, when a user logs in, their profile data needs to be copied from a network location to the local VM, which can be time consuming and slow. With FS Logix, the user profile is stored in a VHD file on a centralized file share and mounted directly at login. So it will improve the login time. Faster login times enhances user satisfaction and productivity. So these are the outcomes of this. What are the outcomes? User experience, better user experience, and of course, increase the productivity. And reducing the time users spend waiting to access their desktop and playing or scrolling the reels up. Right. So, and the second one is remember uh, FS Logix ensures a consistent user experience across different session hosts by centralizing profile storage. So the because it's a disk, and if you're landing to a different session host, it will be there. We talked about it. So it has consistent user sessions, user experience, which will give you in return. So let's suppose a user named Jane logs into a different session host during the day. Without FS Logix, her profile settings, desktop customization, and application configuration might not be consistent across sessions. With FS Logix, Jane's profile is stored in a centralized VHD file. ensuring that no matter which session host she logs into, she has the same experience with her personalized settings intact. So, what are the benefits out of it? A consistent user experiences reduces confusion, frustration, and improves the efficiency, as user don't have to adjust to different settings or reconfigure their environment each time they log in. So improve efficiency. Now the third point is simplified profile management. Why? Because FS Logic simplifies profile management by centralizing profiles and reducing the complexity associated with traditional roaming profiles or folder redirection. So the profile management becomes simplified when we use FS Logic instead of any other uh, way or method available in the market, like uh, traditional roaming profiles or folder redirection. And this simplified management reduces administrative overhead, making it easier to handle user profiles and improve system reliability. So we can right here reduce admin overhead and improves system reliability. Right. Now we can understand this with the simple example. Let's suppose there is an IT admin manages profile for 100 users. With traditional roaming profiles, the admin needs to handle numerous issues related to profile corruption, network latency, and folder redirection complexities. With FS Logics, profiles are centralized in VHD files, making it easier to manage, backup, and restore user profiles. Right now, next is FS Logix Office 365 container specifically optimizes the performance of Office 365 applications by caching Office data in the VHD file as well. So we can have enhanced Office 365 performance as well. Now, user often experiences slow performance with Outlook, OneDrive, and other Office applications in VDI, but FS Logic's Office container caches data such as Outlook OST files, OneDrive files locally in the VHD file, making data access faster and more responsive, which means we have a better user experience, better user experience, and of course, application load faster and run more smoothly, and which leads to enhance productivity. Now, any other point you can think for? Well, of course, we just talked about profile as of now, and we still have to talk about the application masking. So, FS Logic's app masking allows admin to control application visibility without creating multiple desktop or images or configurations, which simply means application masking reduces the need for multiple desktop images, simplifies management, and ensures users have access to the applications they need without clutter. So, app masking or control over app visibility will help admins to manage all those desktop images easily. Simplified management. For example, a company has different departments using specific applications. Finance uses accounting software while marketing uses design tools. Instead of creating separate desktop images for each department, FS Logic's app masking allows the admin to hide or reveal applications based on user roles. When a finance user logs in, only accounting software is visible. When a marketing user logs in, only design tools are visible, that we talked about under app masking conceptual mind maps. All right. So there was one more thing which was Java control. So it will help you to simplify Java version management, we can say. Why? How? Because Because of FS Logix, different versions of Java coexist on the same system. For example, let's put it in perspective. An organization uses legacy applications that require an older version of Java, as the way we explained this in our example, and newer applications that need the latest version. FSLogic's Java version control enables both versions to be installed on the same VDI or virtual desktop, automatically selecting the appropriate versions for each application. This feature eliminates compatibility issues and reduces the admin burden of managing multiple Java applications, ensuring all applications run smoothly and less images, right? And finally, how can we forget the cloud cache, which is nothing less than a magic, right? And solving a lot of problem of BCDR. So FS Logix Cloud Cache. This will help you to for high availability for BCDR, right? So FS Logix Cloud Cache allows profile containers to be stored in multiple locations, as we talked about it, including Azure Blob Storage, providing high availability and redundancy, or file storage. So, in a multi region deployment of AVD, profile containers are replicated across different regions using FS Logic's Cloud Cache. In one region experience an outage, if one region experience an outage, users can still access their profiles from another region, ensuring continuous availability. And there is another thing I just want to add you. If the data lost during primary down and going to the secondary, the cache will sync all these together through all that metadata that it has. If primary comes up, it will sync the primary again to the same data as all the data is moving to the secondary through the cache. So high availability and redundancy are crucial for business continuity, and we can achieve this from Cloud Cache. Now we can have one more that we can think for, which is improved scalability, right? Scalability, improved scalability. How? Because FS Logix improves the scalability of AVD environment by reducing the load on individual session host and simplifying profile management. For example, as an organization grows and adds more users, FS Logix allows the environment to scale efficiently without significant increase in login times or profile management complexities. Each new session host can easily mount user profiles from the centralized storage, maintaining performance and consistency. So, what exactly it is doing? It is segregating, separating, or isolating the profile from the operating system. That's how the magic happens. All right, so scalability is essential for growing organization, and FS Logix enables them to expand their virtual desktop environments without degradation in performance or manageability. So with that, we can just close the video. And I hope it was informative and you guys learned something new today. And thank you for watching. Let's dig deep other topics in upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.